were on a base in Kandahar, and this old man walked up with his sick grandson. I watched our soldiers take this little boy, bring him into the tent that was the hospital on that base. So we aired that story that night. By the next day, the phones were ringing off the hook with people wanting to do something. That kind of empathy, I think, will go a long way to changing situations.
Parts of Newfoundland and Labrador were socked by a fierce winter storm today. High winds and blowing snow made driving treacherous. At one point, the winds were clocked at 100 kilometers an hour. Environment Canada says the worst is over, but several areas of the Rock can still expect some strong winds overnight. Despite the tricky conditions, some people came up with some creative ways to get around. And in Europe, a cold snap said to be the worst in decades has killed close to 200 people. Authorities in Bosnia have declared a state of emergency in the capital, Sarajevo. A storm there dumped more than a meter of snow. Hundreds of people are trapped in their homes dealing with power failures. And dozens of flights have also been canceled. The same system also dumped snow in Spain, a popular spot for snowbirds. Several roads were closed as well. In Rome, the weather shut the Colosseum for 2 days in a row. It is a case that's headed to the Supreme Court of Canada, and it asks a very important question. Who should decide whether we live or die? W5's Victor Malarick now with a case that's at the heart of the issue.
Hassan Rassouli has been kept alive in a bed at Toronto's Sunnybrook Hospital since October 2010 after surgery to remove a benign brain tumor. And he lapsed into unconsciousness. Doctors who insist he's in a vegetative state with no chance of recovery want to pull the plug.
It was a premature diagnosis. My mother is a doctor and she knows it.
He'd brought his family to Canada from Iran just 5 months before. Now his life, or death, rests with the Supreme Court of Canada in a case brought by his doctors at Sunnybrook. The question is, do doctors need consent from a patient or family to let someone die, to literally pull the plug from the ventilator that is keeping Rassouli alive? His wife, Parisher, insists her consent is needed and has resisted enormous pressure to let her husband die.
What keeps you fighting?
A request of my husband from me. Keep me alive, keep me alive. He told me with his eye.
2 Ontario courts have ruled against the doctors, finding that they can't act unilaterally and must refer the dispute to a special board set up to decide just these kind of issues. The outcome of the Supreme Court case could set a national precedent for end-of-life care when physicians and families don't see eye to eye. Victor Malarick, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, going gaga over Madonna's big performance at the Super Bowl. The superstar says she is nervous about this performance.
CTV News Channel, a division of Bell Media.
An athlete in Edmonton is making moves not on the court but on the charts. Terrence Blake, a basketball player with the University of Lethbridge, has been moonlighting as a hip-hop artist. CTV's Daryl Rummold reports.
When he steps on the court, his pivots are tight, shots carefully chosen, and defenders put under wraps.
You think I'm winning now? Wait till game 2.
When he steps to the mic, he spits rhymes like a seasoned lyricist.
I'm moving up, we stay in local news.
He's 23-year-old Terrence Blake, a third-year marketing major, a pronghorn point guard, and a hip-hop up-and-comer.
I guess they do kind of go hand in hand. You know, a lot of athletes have a lot on their mind.
Blake began writing poetry at a young age, which eventually evolved into music.
Music is everything. It's a way of me, you know, expressing myself.
Late last year, he sent a demo song called I'ma Get Paid to a producer friend in Los Angeles, seeking only feedback and advice. What he got was an airline ticket. 48 hours later, he was in a California recording studio, creating his debut single.
You know, I'm blessed for everything, you know what I mean? Getting to go to LA and record my single, and working with the people I got the opportunity to work with, it's been awesome.
The track debuted in the top 50 in its first week, and has steadily risen since. It's now nipping at the heels of artists like Beyonce and Lil Wayne.
It's tough, you know. It's cutthroat, right? But you know what I mean. It really, in the end, it's you just making a sound that you enjoy, and you expressing and spreading the word of your thoughts, and that's really important about it.
On the basketball court, Blake has battled injury, suiting up for only 6 league games. Now he's healthy once again and able to take on some real minutes.
He doesn't allow guys to get him on the dribble, and he shoots it well enough that people have to come out and respect him.
His goal is a national championship. His dream is a recording contract. If he has his way, in 2012, he'll get both. Daryl Rummel, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Madonna has admitted that she's battling nerves before the Super Bowl. The Queen of Pop is due to sing during the event's halftime show this weekend and confessed that she's feeling the pressure. The 53-year-old, who is thought to be singing her new song, Give Me All Your Lovin', opened up on U.S. talk show Anderson, telling host Anderson Cooper that she is extremely nervous. You have no idea. Now, Glenn Sumi and Miranda Furtado of Dose.ca would have been nervous, but the magic of margaritas made everything okay. They join us as they always do.
When in doubt.
You guys are doing okay today. Madonna, I mean, she is the Energizer Bunny of the pop world.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely can't stop Madonna. So she's actually taking the stage tomorrow during the 46th Super Bowl. The Patriots and Giants are going head-to-head again, but this is the first time that Madonna is taking the stage at halftime. Again, this is something that we've seen before, but she has a lot to promote right now. She has a new album, she has a new video for Give Me Your Lovin', which features MIA and Nicki Minaj. So she's really kind of trying to promote herself. Now, what's interesting is Super Bowl is really not her type of crowd, but apparently she's performing 3 of her hits and her new song. One person that's not going to be watching tomorrow is Elton John's husband, David Furnish, who notoriously slammed her when she won her Golden Globe. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see what he has to say, or if he says anything at all when she's done.
Glenn, do you believe her that she's nervous?
I don't. You know, it's a big act. She's 53 years old. She has done so much in the world. Without Madonna, there would be no Lady Gaga. There could possibly maybe be no Nicki Minaj either. You know, she's a very smart woman. She has orchestrated all this stuff so that she's promoting a movie. She has a new movie out called W.E. and the album. And you know, when was the last time that people started talking about the Super Bowl halftime show? You know, for old geezers like, you know, Tom Petty or Paul McCartney or The Who. I think a lot of people are genuinely excited about Madonna's halftime show, and it'll get a whole new demographic, that's for sure.
I know when people last mentioned the halftime show, it had something to do with malfunction. Right. Yes. That's the last time.
And she went on air saying there would be no wardrobe malfunction.
A bit of a malfunction in the United States with Mitt Romney being called out by Kanan.
Yeah, you know, chalk one up for Kanan. You know, waving flag, his anthem, has been used in so much. You know, Coca-Cola used it for the World Cup in the summer of 2010, and there was a celebrity version done to raise funds for Haiti relief earlier that year. But when Republican nominee Mitt Romney won the Friday primary, he celebrated with that song. It did not take long for Kanan and his people to respond. This is what he said on Twitter. He said, "Yo, Mitt Romney, I am Kanan. I am Kanan." Yes, that's what he said. And I do not endorse this message. And I think the underlying statement there was that, you know, back off or we could seek legal action. So right afterwards, Romney's people responded. They apologized. They said that actually it was okay to use the song under the convention rules. There's a sort of blanket copyright agreement, but they apologized. They said they will not use his music again. But what's really interesting is that Kanan went on record saying that if President Obama wanted to use wave and flag, no problem. So he has made no bones about, you know, what political party he would stand behind.
You know, if Romney wants to get some extra votes among young people, starting off a tweet with the word yo, it could be something there.
Yeah.
Adam Lambert making some news as well. He could be joining a pretty big group.
Actually, he's not, apparently.
Oh.
According to the reports in the UK, one of the papers were saying that he was actually going to front and become part of Queen and replace Freddie Mercury. But alas, this is not happening. On Twitter, he slammed the rumors, saying that, ooh, them clever reporters taking my quotes out of context. I haven't confirmed any appearance appearances, I was talking about the EMAs. And he followed that with, that being said, I'm truly flattered by your jump to such glorious conclusions, Mr. Journalist. Now, it's kind of weird, though, because during American Idol, everyone said he was the perfect fit for Queen. And as one of my bands, I can't disagree. And he's leaving it